Friends, thank you for watching my channel. I just want to remind you, if you need wallpaper, go to www.wallpaperboulevard.com. Tell them Spencer sent you. In fact, if you use my hashtag, Spencer Colgan is wallpaper, they'll be sure to give you 10% off at your checkout. No matter how much you order, they have a wide selection of wallpaper. Check it out. Tell them I said hello and enjoy your discount. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the video. This is Spencer Colgan. Welcome back to my wallpaper channel. Today, we're spraying shadow boxes. And we're using a fine finish tip. Let me show you. This is a Graco 395 sprayer. It's the baseline airless sprayer for the professional painter. We're gonna put this on prime and you'll hear the pressure release. So listen to this. Okay, now what you're gonna see is I'm going to dump this water. And now I'm going to put my gallon of paint that retails for $70 a gallon. You'll love me if this is your first time. You decrease the chances of dropping this paint when you extend the center of gravity by putting it in a 5-gallon pail. So now you would agree that that's not too stable on grass, just a single gallon of paint, right? So now it's in there, it's safe. Now we're going to prime the system. System is down, right? You see this knob? See the knob, Tori? Okay, they can see that. Very good. Let's turn it on and wait till our paint comes out. Come on, white paint we're looking for. As soon as it starts coming out, we stop it. It's slowing down, it's slowing down. I'm ready to stop it. Okay. I can put this right into my gallon of paint. My system is now loaded with paint, but my hose is not. My hose still has water. So please come around once again for the last time and watch me put this on spray. And now I'm going to purge the hose. And that'll take a while. I'll speed up the video so that I can get this water out. And when it starts coming out white, we're ready to spray. The system is now filling the hose with paint. It's good to have a garden hose around so that when it does come out white, you can just simply hose off your grass. This happens to be my property, so please don't criticize me for doing this on somebody else's property. Okay, folks, we're ready to spray. Now, I have to turn my fine finish tip toward the front, just like an arrow. Now she's ready to spray. But what's my pressure on? Let's go over to the machine. Whoa, my pressure is on full blast. We don't need that. I'm gonna put it on a little more than half, okay? We're ready to spray, folks. Let's see. Okay, let's go to the next frame. Let me get my beautiful truck out of the way so I don't spray it. And now, the rest is simple. Just trying to discharge some of the pressure, but I think I'll decrease the pressure because I want my fine finish, and I'm gonna show you what that's about. So the camera woman will come behind me and show you this very simple process by which we come right over here. Okay, I'm going to start off the project and I'm going to keep it about 12 inches away. That's what I want to see. Okay, take a look at that. That little burst, it's done. Done. We don't want to do any more than that. Okay. Okay, let's just bring them over here. Done. Same thing with this. Okay. Okay. Let's do the inside. Okay. Thank you.
Where did you put the paper towels, Michael? Oh, yeah.
Just bring them in here. Okay. Take a break. We'll go to the next frame. Break down the tool and put it away because we may be done. We want to take the pressure off. And so, please bring them in. We're going to take the pressure gauge, just bring them in so they can see this. We're putting that all the way down, but we want to make sure that the system isn't loaded with pressure. So we're just going to turn this, and now the tool can sit. Otherwise, you have all this pressure on the seals. The paint sprayer is ready to go. This is an airless sprayer. Oh, there's a ton of pressure when you leave it in the upright position for an hour or so. There's no need to do that to your seals. Let the pressure off, let the paint dry, and then see if you need to do any more spray. If not, I'll show you how to clean it, and then we'll be done with the video. Now, before you take your break, let me just tell you one thing. You see how the tip is pointing and ready for the paint to come out? Well, while you're taking a break or you're waiting for your materials to dry, you want to turn your tip this way so that you're looking at steel, okay? Because you don't want the orifice end exposed to the air. It has paint on it, and your new paint will be passing through this orifice. And so if you leave it open, the paint may dry and cause you problems. Okay? And this is what I do. I leave it in water, waiting until I start spraying again. Okay? So now we have to start the sprayer up again. The first thing you want to do is get the pressure built up. So we're going to prime it first. The lever goes down. And now you want to fill up the box with all your paint. Pressure is building up, and obviously the outlet is put into the can of paint since we're just recycling it. No need to have it outside. We're not purging the system and cleaning it. We're just doing this to get the paint into the system. Once that's done, we put it on spray mode, and now it's no longer coming out of the outlet. It's building up the pressure, so now that we can spray. I'm reducing my pressure down to about 35–40%.
because I'm using a fine finish tip and I don't want to be on full blast. The rest is so easy, folks. Once you learn how to use the machine, spraying is the way to go. Even if you mess it up the first couple of times, just keep doing it. You'll get really good at it.
I'm driving down an empty freeway, no waiting for the light to change. I'm seeing the sunrise behind me.
Okay, for the last one, I just wanted to show you some mechanics that I've learned. When you spray, you'll see the layout right away. You can't see it in the camera. But if you are 10 inches right here on an angle, and then you kind of switch your angle, if you're not aware of this, here's what could happen. It could happen. This is more forgiving than the other sprayer I was using on the past couple of videos, which is an HVLP sprayer. This is a painter's. This is what sprayers were before the HVLP. The handhelds. So there are a lot of handheld sprayers out that carpenters use who do doors and trim. They just put it on their sawhorses and they use the gun. It's a handheld with a battery. They're very good tools. And when Graco sends me one, I'll review it for them. Okay, so what I was saying was, you almost want to act like a machine if you can, where the direction of the spray is constant. Theoretically, if you could walk and keep your gun in the same distance, at the same angle, for the duration of the spray episode or period, 2-3 seconds, it would be best. Because what you could do, if you're new at it, you could go like this. Now just come in close. I mean, this is not that unrealistic to think that folks can make this mistake and just kind of like end here and then do it again what you'll see is after it dries, you'll see flashing. In other words, you were so close and you went so slowly because you were changing directions that the paint accumulated in that millisecond too much. So please, be aware of it and have a brush handy. Have a good brush handy. Don't wipe it down. Just let it dry. But have a brush and just brush it and put a fan on it. Try again. Don't start washing it off and stuff like that. If you went too much, have a brush, just brush it in. Wait till it dries if you're new at it. So it's just a suggestion. Okay, so I'm going to try to do it like the car wash. I compare this to like the car wash because I want a nice even application. That's the way I want to do it. I don't want to be doing this because the distance between my gun and this cornice is about 14 inches here. When I turn it like this, the distance adds about 5 to 6 inches. It's going to change the appearance, and you'll see shadows when you look at it in the sunlight. So I start off the project to get the paint sprayer going. I'm using a 10-inch extension. If, you see, this has paint in it now, but the pressure in this extension is not the same as the pressure from the paint hose right up to the gun. It's a little less. Therefore, there's going to be a gap, a little delay. When I press this gun, there's going to be a delay, and what's going to happen is it's going to spit a droplet of paint right onto your cornice if you start your spray on the wood. So you don't. You spray it on the grass, or you spray it away. If you're in a building, you spray it on your masking paper and then you bring it in, because it's going to spit when you start and when you stop, because you're using an extension. If you're using an extension, you don't want to start on the surface you're spraying. You want to start off of it and you want to end off of it like this. You see how I did that? I started over here and I ended over here off of the project. Do it again. And I kept the distance the same. So that's basically it. That's basically it. Spraying is the way to go. Now I'm going to show you how to break this machine down. While my compressor is charging, just show you the beautiful finish that you can achieve if you spray. And the nice thing about this is if you're a do-it-yourselfer, you can expect these results right away. You don't have to wait to become a so-called expert. Okay? Look at that beauty. It's just getting familiar with how much pressure you have, the tip you're using, very important, the pressure you spray at, the material that you're using. Here's what you do. If you want to use this sprayer, here's what you do. Be confident in your ability. Call Graco Tech Support. They'll walk you right through any problem. Say, listen, I'm spraying a thick enamel. The can of paint that you use will tell you what pressure to use on your sprayer. If you look on the back of this label, you'll see information regarding sprayer tip, pressure, etc. You get on the phone with tech support, tell them, hey, listen, I bought a Graco. It's a $395. I need to know. You do not have to be in the dark about this. You don't have to watch 100 YouTube videos. Call them up. They are there to help you. can move your fingers. We'll get that together here. All right. Go ahead. We're good? Yeah. Obviously, you don't want to shoot yourself. That could be a serious issue. Okay. So, we'll just clean it up. Yeah, the brads that you use on this kind of trim, I mean, this is a painting video, but for those of you who are new to installing wood trim, crown, this is crown, you gotta use the right brads. Came right off with a little tug, and they used the smallest brads that you use for cabinetry, which would be fine if it were installed in place and you're not going to be handling it. Okay, I'm just going to clean this up, and we're going to hit this with we're going to caulk it first, and then fill in our brad dents and just spray it up. Okay, see you on the next frame. And our spray it off. Spray it down something. Yeah. Right. One of the errors that we make in spraying when we're new at it is to overspray the material. You start thinking it needs more, it needs more. If you're new at spraying, go less. Increase after it dries. You'll really get the knack of it. You'll get severely discouraged if while you're spraying, you try to complete the project on one pass. That's where you go wrong. It's like wallpaper removing. People call me, I try to remove the paper, can't do it. And I can't get to them, and I say, did you have patience? Did you take your time? No, I've been at it 20 minutes. So you'd be better off spraying this 3 times rather than getting it the one time perfectly. A professional sprayer could actually get this done with the right pressure and the right tip in one pass. Most likely. I mean, we're spraying white over white. I'm talking about that. I'm not saying if I were doing this in a darker color, I would be satisfied with one spray coat. No. I would do 3 in that case. But in white over white, all you need to do is one pass. But you might move it too quickly, and then you might see like dashed lines on your spray pattern. Just let it dry, sand it lightly. After an hour or so, after it dries, just sand it lightly, and then just try it again. That's the way you get good. Get something you can spray on and just practice. You'll get it down if you spend one day, a couple of hours in one day, learning how to use this thing. You'll be able to do your project. This is a different can from which I was spraying the cornices, but I want to show you what's on the back of every can of paint. Okay? You see this airless spray pressure? I mean, there's so much information if you just read. It tells you what pressure, what tip to use. Okay? There's a range of tip sizes because there's a viscosity in this paint, and they know. They want their product to go on good, and so they're going to tell you how it's going to look its best. But among the issue with regard to the sprayer, it tells you how much coverage you can expect, the drying time. You know what? I don't pay attention to this, or this. Okay, because the drying time depends on the relative humidity in the environment, and therefore this is affected when you can touch it and when you can recoat it. Okay, so that information's on the can of paint. You're ready to clean your machine. Okay, we have 2 buckets of fresh water. Okay. And so we're going to draw clean water into the paint sprayer. Okay, now I'm going to contaminate this so-called clean water right after I put this in here. Ideally, if you're outside on your own property and you want to clean this at home, many of you do-it-yourselfers are doing it at your own house, right? Spray this off. Get this paint off of here. You don't want this in the water, but we can't do this in every house we work in, right? So I want that paint off of it. At least now it's as thin as water, okay? That's why I have 2 buckets. But I'm only using it to force out the good paint that's left in my machine, okay? So I come over here and I'm going to draw water into the system to get the paint out. So let's do that. So I'm drawing in water with my inlet, and I'm going to discharge it into my can of paint. Okay. There is a lot of paint left in it, so you do want to get it out. Okay. Now, you do want to make sure that only paint has come out. Okay, you don't want to be trying to salvage your paint and find out that you have it mixed with 20% water or more. So eventually water will start coming out of this. But I just cleared 50 feet of hose for less than a minute. That's paint that's going back into the can. Now, I want to discharge the machine into this. So please come in behind me. We just discharged the hose, and now we're going to discharge the machine itself. I turn my volume down, and now I put it into prime. See that knob right there? Did I see that? Okay, now I turn it back on, and you'll see that I'm drawing in water, and I'm discharging the paint in this box into the can of paint. And you see it coming out. Okay. Now what I have is a dirty sprayer, and I have my salvaged paint right here. Paint goes to the side, and now I have to clean it out. And that's why I have 2 buckets of water. Now I go to my other bucket of water, from which I'm going to be drawing clean agua. Let it drip out, okay? Okay, folks, let's get the guts of this machine cleaned out. Again, we will dump the guts of it out first. All right, see that? Now, you want it to be clear. This could take a few minutes, okay? You don't want to put this machine away dirty. Take care of this thing. It'll take care of you for years. The water is just murky now, and I'm going to switch it so that I can discharge the contents, the rest of the machine, and the hose. And that usually goes a lot quicker. Now, if I'm on a job, here's what I do. I get a garbage container. A regular garbage container that you put outside of your house, plastic. I cut a hole out of the top lid and I put a bag inside of the garbage container that I buy. And I spray right into the garbage container because commercial job, you don't always have the place to do this, and nobody wants to see paint on their grass. So I'll do what I'm about to do in the container, in a garbage container. It really makes people happy that you're not messing up their property. See, I still have white water coming out. So, but take the time, folks. Take the time. You don't want to mess up your machine by leaving that in there. If you left murky water in there and you mixed it with lubricant, I wouldn't do it. But it's a lot better than leaving the paint in there and coming back. Your system would be garbage. Okay. Let's stop it and let's put it on sprayer. Now, just to show you what I'm doing, my sprayer is ready to spray, but it's going to spray white water. You see? But what I'll do on commercial jobs, I'll just grab a garbage container with a lid. Not this, but I would penetrate the plastic and just contain the spray. Just spray in there. Nobody says anything to you. And of course, I put a garbage bag in there, so I just throw it out at the end. Okay, so let's do that here. I'll see you on the next frame. Just like this. There's some good paint coming out, but there comes a point where you're going to start dumping water into the can of paint. So I'd rather lose a little paint than spray water into my salvage can. It's just white water at this point. The reason I do this is to collect the paint. I will be cleaning it out on the grass, but I want the paint out of the system. As you know, white water is not paint. Okay, so yeah, we're dealing. You can see it's just, and then I'm going to have a hose on hand so that I can just spray over the white that's coming out, so that it doesn't look like it snowed in Florida in July. See you on the next frame. Oh, you can cut that. Cut. When your cleanup starts resulting in clean water coming out, you're done. Just stop it. And now we're ready to move on to the next and final phase of the cleanup of the machine. I come back to my machine just to make sure if any paint went back into the system. I'm going to purge the box just to make sure. I Put this down, turn the volume all the way up, and let's check out our outlet. Looks clean to me. You're ready to lubricate and store. RV and marine. It's antifreeze. It beats spending all that money on pump armor. This is a lubricant. You're fine with this. Buy them in bulk, even if you're a do-it-yourselfer. Get 3 of them. Keep your machine lubricated. Graco sells pump armor. It's about 15. I don't buy it anymore. About 15 bucks for a little container. Then they tell you you can dilute it. You can use this without diluting it, and you'll be fine. Okay. You want to introduce the lubricant into the box and into the system itself, including the hose. So, let's do that. My inlet is clear. Look, no paint is dripping out, right? I put it right in there. And now I'm going to discharge what's in the system. Okay? And we'll see when it starts coming out pink. This happens right away. All right? So let them see this lever. They see this lever. I'm going to put it on primer, down, turn my dial up, and the outlet will start giving me the fluid right away. Okay, that's done. The guts are now filled with lubricant, but now we want to put it through the system, like when you spray. So, put that back in the lubricant. This is now full strength. We can add some water to it. Okay. Now, we're going to discharge this through the system. Take a look in there. Okay, now let's get this. We put this back up on spray. They see the lever? It's on spray now. Turn up our dial full strength. You'll start hearing when the new fluid is introduced. This also acts to purge any gunky paint that may have gotten trapped at your... We still have to clean this, but it's a good way of getting the gunk off of this thing. Okay, I'm starting to get pink. You see that? My system is now lubricated. You're gonna leave this in the system now. And now we'll detach the sprayer tip because paint is trapped in there. And the rest of it is good. Now, let's show you how to clean out the filter. Both filters. There are 2 filters on a Graco. Okay, we'll turn off the system down. Get the pressure out because you won't be able to open this. Okay, you can hear the pressure release. And if we did a good job, this should have no white on it. I like to dip it in there. I also like to take my pink fluid and dump it right into this part. Just show them this from an aerial side. Okay, I like to pour it directly in there. Okay, as you can see, I've been using this for years. I don't have any problems with this. I mean, you want to keep it pristine, of course, no paint on it, but it's not possible. Okay, we got one more filter, and that's here. Okay, with the pressure off. Remember, put the pressure off. Okay. Okay. You wanna, okay. Now this is going to be a little white, so don't be shocked. See, I have a little white on it. Okay, you see in there? Like I told you. Again, this is our pencil size filter or our gun filter. Dip it in the fluid. Nice. Okay, you don't see any rust on this thing. Now, I don't want that in there. So now I want to turn it on as if I'm spraying, but without the sprayer. Okay, I put it up to spray and I turn it on. Look at that. Look at that beautiful pink. Okay. Okay, now let's reintroduce our pink and be done with it. You can see in there. Now there are pipe cleaning tools that you can use. They're nylon, they won't scratch this. Okay. Let's run the pink now, the rest of our pink through the system to make it, the whole system will be filled with lubricant. You can see how long it takes the sprayer to put 50 feet of material through it. There's our pink again. Nice and clean. System is all cleaned out. All right. The reason why I put the clear through it, you don't want to waste all your lubricant just to clean out the gun hose. Okay. So our machine filter is clean. Our handheld, the gun filter is clean. Now I'm going to clean out this part, and that's going to require even though this is hand tightened, it's still, after you paint, it's very tight. So I just pull out my tip, right, clean it in the water first, then I'm going to put it in our lubricant. I'll check the orifice on the tip. There's two, one for the spray fan and one to discharge gunk. You know, when I had it on, when it was coming out really hard, there's two settings, okay? One is to spray, the other one is a jet stream. So that's our jet stream. I can get in there better, okay? And just make sure that you don't have any caked up paint on it, okay? These tips will last you a long time if you just take care of them. Okay. When I disconnect this extension from the gun itself, I'll find a little paint on each end. I'm just going to clean it out and then be done with it. Actually, I was wrong. I took off my hand tighten tip, and it's actually pretty clean. Okay, so just to show you that system did a pretty good job. Always putting it in the lubricant. Okay, that's pretty clear. That's clear. Okay. Now, we're just going to make sure, because I haven't detached this in a while, we're going to detach the extension just to make sure it doesn't get gunked up. These are expensive. Okay, Spencer couldn't get it off. So I'm just going to reconnect it. But if you want to detach it, just make sure it's nice and clean. I'm confident that mine is fine, okay? You're putting the filter back in. You see the top of it? That goes in on the top because it's going to fit into the rest of the gun. Very simple to attach. Okay. When you get it over the threaded piece, turn it counterclockwise until you feel it click. Plumbers taught me that. Handheld, that's it. If this ever leaks when you start it up again, don't get discouraged. Hand tighten. This thing goes in here. Trigger guard. Okay, my system is now, it's good. Okay, here's my tip. Like I said before, this is a little tricky to get it back into the right position. All right, I'm turning it counterclockwise like I told you, till I hear that click, so that it goes right onto the threaded part. Now, watch this. These two move independently. See this? You want to have it where it's nice and straight, like you're shooting a gun. Okay, so you want to, where it gets tight, you want to make sure that your tip is right there, just like a firearm. All right, it's hand held, hand tighten I meant, and we're ready to go. Okay, hose storage. Your hose has a natural bend in it. Just go with the natural bend in the hose. It will show you how it's supposed to go. You want to take care of your hose, keep it out of direct sunlight, cool, dry place, and it should last you at least 5 years. Okay? I push it together and I force it into a 5-gallon bucket, and I take my inlet and my outlet, I put that in the same bucket, dripping wet. It only has lubricant on it. And now my system is ready to be stored. One last thing, please. Make sure you release the pressure while the system has juice to it. Okay? Pressure is off. Now we can disconnect it. Now, for those of you who are new and don't realize the danger involved in dealing with an electric power tool that has juice to it and you're working around discharging water, bringing in paint, you do not want to be in a situation where your wire gets submerged in the water and you're standing there. I know of somebody who was electrocuted in his basement with a sump pump. He's dead. Okay, so you like to store things, you don't like to waste anything, that's fine. We can do that too. Use your hand as a funnel. Right back into the... There are nets you can use that will sift out any debris from trees that jumped into your fluids, even if it jumped into your paint. Okay, it's a net, and you just run your fluid through the net. It's just a mesh net, and you'll see all the debris
that you get out of there. Okay, I store this in here, and now we're good to go, folks. That's how you use an airless paint sprayer. That's how you set it up. That's how you use it. There are various tips. Read up on them. Check that out. Call the tech support, Graco Tech Support. If you have a Titan, call Titan Tech Support. They're there to help you. I hope you liked the video. If you did, click on like and do that thing. Subscribe, like, and make a comment. See you on the next video.